All right, so firstly, I want to congratulate Sweeney Murti for taking a job. He just accepted a job at MLB, and he's going to be within the Major League Baseball organization now as a social media editor or something like that. It's a new venture for him. He was at WFAN for the past 30 years. Now he's being replaced over there by Justin Shackle, I think his name is. But a big shout-out and a big congratulations to Sweeney Murti. He was doing a lot of Yankee stuff, so hopefully he'll continue to get an opportunity to do that as well. But he's well-respected in the baseball community, and again, a big congratulations to him on that. So keep up the good work, my man. Now, just want to pivot over really quickly, too. I don't know if you heard this, but the MLB owners have formed this economic reform committee. And we've talked about some of this before, right? And some of this is in conjunction with trying to prevent another Steve Cohen from presenting itself, okay? A guy who's obviously he's got means beyond most owners. But we talked about this too. We have billionaire owners not spending money, just pocketing the money. That is baloney, okay? We this is... There's so much BS behind this, and we'll get into this a little bit more. And I'm going to continue to talk about this type of stuff as well. I not only talk about baseball and the Yankees and things like that. We talk about things like that to give you, like this too, to give you a better understanding of why things are happening and all this stuff, so you can form your opinion. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, so you don't miss out on stuff. I appreciate it one way or the other. And but this economic reform committee is it's a way of essentially preventing another Steve Cohen from happening. And again, there's a lot of different ways you can look at it, okay? Yeah, he's got advantages over others, but he's also investing in his own product, okay, in his own team. And at some point, if he bought a championship, he bought a championship. You know, you can't just buy it without the team, without the players staying healthy and performing and be consistent. The players have to do their jobs too. So, and whatever you want to call them, mercenaries or this or that, whatever, he's doing what the Yankees have done for a long time when they had the same opportunity. So when the Dodgers have done, the Red Sox, the Cubs, like a lot of teams have done it. So, and again, investing in your product's not a bad thing, which is why we talked about, you know, potential salary floors rather than a salary cap. I don't think a salary cap's going to happen, okay? But, you know, and this type of stuff could prevent that, could cause another lockout in the next CBA. This is the type of BS. But, like, we've gotten to the point now, and just a different perspective here, with all these TV networks, you know, all the teams are getting like $100 million in TV stuff. We've gotten to the point now where teams can be wildly profitable and not even have to win games. What the hell is that? Right? Wildly profitable and not even winning games. I don't even watch the team, but the owner's a billionaire. Well, how is that? Right? And this is what I'm talking about. And this is the environment that owners themselves have created. Okay? And it's up to the Players Association and union to kind of fight this as one. I understand both sides want to extract as much money as possible. I get that. But, like, this is the same thing as, like, in the corporate world where and being in the corporate world for a long time, it's just we promised a certain, when teams are at the end of the year, their financials or whatever, we're going to become leaner, more efficient, okay? Rather than just saying, look, we promised the shareholders a certain stock price, we didn't hit it, now we're going to fire the people that made them rich to begin with, okay, or richer to begin with, to give them the money. So we're going to cater to this small amount of people and screw a whole bunch of everybody else. That's just the way that it is, unfortunately, in corporate America, a lot of times, okay? It's the reality, whether you agree with it or not, okay? I see it all the time. It's baloney, but it is what it is. So this is the same type of environment in baseball. Again, wildly profitable teams, and we talked about the payrolls and owners not spending yet still making a bunch of money, getting revenue sharing, okay, from teams that they just pocket. And what happens? The team still sucks. But these guys are wildly wealthy. Well, that's the system these guys set up. It's not us. But at the end of the day, who's going to suffer? The fans are going to suffer. Okay? The fans. So this Economic Reform Committee, once we have more intel about it, more insight, I'm going to link an article down below just so you can see for it yourself and start to, formulate your own opinion. Decide how you feel about it, what you think about it, and put it in the comments. So, because I want you to know about it. So, and again, it's not being talked about. It's not being talked about. But again, this is the type of stuff that I like to talk about that nobody else does, and that's totally fine. So, but I want you to get a better understanding of this stuff, because it's always, the Yankees aren't spending enough, or they're not spending as much as the Mets. It's the same excuse from everybody. What does that do? It does absolutely nothing. So, I want you to have this type of information as well at your disposal, so you can get a better understanding why. And again, do we want the Yankees to spend more? Sure. But again, who's talking about they give more in revenue sharing than any other team in baseball? Nobody is. I mention it. Nobody else does. But it's true. But I understand fans. I get it. Yankee fans we're well informed. We're passionate. We're also impatient. Fortunately for us, we've been spoiled with a lot of winnings. I mean, a lot of championships, a lot of wins, and a lot of winning seasons, and blah blah blah. And despite what people say about Brian Cashman on a regular basis, that's the truth too. Okay, so but again, back to this. It's how do they do this? And we've talked about this before too. I think a good idea would be for them to consider a salary floor, but tie it to the baseball, the teams having to invest in players to put them in a position to win more games. When they win more games, they're going to generate more revenue. Why would they not want to do that? I have no idea. But I don't own these teams. So there's a reason why certain people own them and certain people don't. Okay? But that's just a reality too. But if you can get a salary floor and not do it in a way where the big market teams are punishing the low market teams, saying, well, you have to have a $150 million salary now, or, that's just not realistic. It's got to be a gradual tier of years. So whether they're at 40 now, maybe 50, increase it by 10 or 20 million a year for the next couple of years until they hit 100 million or something like that. Some kind of reasonable plateau. And then let them adapt to that. And then you raise it at some point later. But forcing them to get to 150 to 200 million in a short period of time that's a hard thing to do. It's not the most realistic either. So, in a lot of situations, it's not fair. But, I just don't buy any excuses from teams that get revenue sharing, have $100 million. And I've talked to folks about this too. All this revenue money, and they still suck. Because they're not investing in their product. They're pocketing the money. Okay? So, this is where we're at right now. But I wasn't sure you heard about this economic reform committee. The chances of it turning into something significant, probably not. A lot of folks will just do stuff just to save face and make it look like they're doing something. That's why I don't talk politics on the channel, because they do that all the time. Okay? And, they just blame other people for their own screw-ups. So, it is what it is. But, let me know what you think about this, too. Check out the article. I'm really curious to know what your opinions are. And let me know what you think about a potential salary floor. Because I think it's probably the easiest path towards getting to some kind of economic stability or fairness, and doing it in a way that's not overly punitive to certain teams or whatever you want to call it. But that, to me, is I think a solid foundation to start from. And again, I'd rather be talking about Yankees in spring training and how good Anthony Volpe looks right now, because he does, and how good Jason Dominguez looks, because he does. So, and what are they going to do in left field? We have no idea. But these are the types of things I talk about every day. But it's this type of stuff we like to inject in there as well for your knowledge. And I like to elevate the conversation anytime I have a chance to. So, and this type of stuff does that. So I want to know what you think. Okay? And folks, what are your thoughts? Do you think the Yankees? Obviously, a lot of folks don't think the Yankees have done enough. I've said that too. Like, they still have to address left field one way or they have to upgrade. But then on the flip side, they've spent more than any other team has in Major League history, including themselves. They've never spent this much in Major League history, but it's on a small amount of moves because of the Judge deal. $40 million per. You got Rizzo, $20 million per, right? Just on those two, you got Tommy Kahnle. They added almost $70 million a year on 3 players. So, yes, almost $70 million a year on 3 players. And that's not insignificant. So they have a boatload of money coming off the next season or two, so there is room. And obviously they said they don't want to surpass the Steve Cohen threshold for whatever. And I know a lot of fans don't want to hear it, but they don't want to. So, but they have guys that they can move. But again, we talked about this too. You can move IKF. Just deal teams and find them value. But I'm not a fan of moving Gleyber Torres unless you're going to get an impact player in return. That's going to help the team. Not, we got to move him just because we don't like him. I understand they have DJ at second, and Volpe's kind of waiting in the wings, and I would love nothing more than a decade of Oswald Peraza and Gleyber Torres. It's short in second. It reminds me, and I've said this too, it reminds me of Alan Trammell and Whitaker with the Tigers. Like, that's the type of dynamic duo I just envision with this team, and that excites the hell out of me. And I hope it happens, but we'll see. We'll see. But, it's this type of stuff that I want to get you informed on as well. So let's talk about it, gang. Let's go, baby. Yeah.